You could be dating someone and that someone could be dating 5 other person, 3 other person, heck, 10 other person. You just never fucking know. Watch your back. Hello, you guys. This is Blissful Gia, and in this podcast, I'm going to be putting my story into full perspective because I often get asked by family and friends and supporters overseas how they can come to America, how I came to America. So today I'm going to be putting into full perspective the culture, the education, identity, dating, and all the in-betweens about America. So I came to America as a refugee. A refugee is a person that flees their country due to unsustainability of food, shelter, housing, war, a lot of things. My parents got an asylum because they were working for the president of Liberia and came to America on a green card. Now, fast forward, I'm in high school. I'm dating this Indian guy. He was in America on a F1 student status. So this is going to tie into immigration status and culture and also dating, because your culture and your dating expectation, there can be friction if you decide to date outside of your culture. Now, if F1 student status grants you the right to come to America, but while you're in America, you're strictly here for educational purposes, these people have to have money because they do not get grants or funding for education. They have to pay cash per semester. Once you are done with your bachelor, your doctor, whatever, a job can sponsor you. Now, if you do not get sponsorship, you have to go back to your country. And Sin bumped into that, and he did something crazy. He joined the military, because if you join the military, you can gain citizenship through that. So refugee, F1 student, right? You could come to America on a work visa. You can come through America through marriage. And there's just so many different ways to come to America. So there's that. Education often will be different, right? Because you're in a different country and the math may be different. The way you enunciate things may also be different. I was a student teacher in the ESL program in high school, right? And we would help the students with enunciating certain things. Now, can you imagine me? I have quite an accent, so I had no business in that classroom. But anyways, it was fun. But every so often, some people here in America will get arrogant because they don't factor in that other people that are not here or got the American education from early childhood, that their way of enunciating things for being bilingual or trilingual may often impact how they enunciate certain things or foresee certain things and understand for certain things. Identity is our next. Over time, as I became a mother, I really grew proud of who I am and that my child is a first-generation American, right? And it could die with him. He may not procreate. Who knows? He might. I just think it's so cool that I have started a new family tree and it can be traced to Liberia. And funny enough, Liberia had a very strong tie with the United States because our country was one of the countries where free slaves from America went to. So that's a whole rabbit hole for a whole nother time. Dating ties back into culture, because if you are brought up on a certain culture and tradition and expectation in men and women, and you date outside of your culture, expect ton of fucking friction, because that's exactly what I feel like my dating experience has been, simply because I grew up expecting XYZ, and here people are very fluid in dating in America. You could be dating someone and that someone could be dating 5 other person, 3 other person, heck, 10 other person. You just never fucking know. Watch your back. That's all I can say. So interesting, but do not expect coming here and thinking you're going to be on the same page dating an American man. Not at all. You got to ask questions, you got to investigate, you got to collect data. Yeah, there's that. The ups and down, I think, would be the expectation of this big American dreams, because quite frankly, I believe you got to choose where you suffer, right? Case example, are you going to suffer in a country where you don't have access to medical assistance, car, transportation, housing, electricity? There are people that are okay with that. For me, coming from Liberia, these things are basic necessity for some American, and I'm not saying you do not face hardship here in America. However, coming from a country where you don't have access to such thing like that may be a luxury, right? So people oftentimes come to America thinking they're gonna do this and that, and sometimes you can accomplish everything you say your heart to, but also know that the land that you're in also comes with its own challenges. You're going to have to learn how to expect different things from different people, how to be different in different environments. You're going to have to know how to code switch. You're going to have to know how to read people. You're going to have to just be solid and figure out who you are and where you really fit in. There's so many states in America that have so many of its own thing going on, right? So that's the cool aspect of it. But like I said, most Americans would not experience being a refugee. Most would move for work or for the luxury of the sake of moving due to maybe cheaper cost of living. There's some people that obtain education overseas and come here and have to start over again. So that ties back to the education. Like, you could have put in so much work in your country and then you have to come back here and start from scratch. So there's also that, and then learning the credit system. Some countries don't have credit systems. Some countries don't have background checks. Some countries are very lawless, and then you come to a land where it's like there's that law. So there's political issues with the law everywhere, that, and it's constructed differently country to country. So yeah, like I said, there's so many ways you can come to America, but if you're coming here with a plan, cool, that's very good. But there's also people that just come here and then become part of the culture. You learn the culture, and not bad. Waiting for my son to turn 10 so I can take him to Africa, because I think it's so cool, again, building a new family tree and tying everything back to Liberia. And he can, kids, and they can find out where Grandma G's from, right? So, very interesting dynamic, a very tricky system to learn. But if you have the right person, if you come to the right person and they host you in America and don't take advantage of you, you will flourish in the way that you hope to, because a lot of people come here for education. And this political time right now, I really think is important for Americans as well to know how people can legally come into their country. Don't just solely focus on the illegals. Let's focus on the people who came here the right way and have done the right things, because I'm a green card holder and I renew my green card every 10 years, right? So every 10 years, there's an incentive check done. So you got to be on your P's and Q's. You have to be an upstanding citizen depending on your immigration status that you come here. Don't think you can just come here and be lawless just because you come from a lawless country. Yeah, it's gonna happen. And I've seen people and known people personally that has been deported because immigration has kept track of crimes and babysitting you. So you have to be in your P's and Q's when you come here as a refugee, as an F1 student, on a work visa. Right now, anything can be taken away from anyone. So that, I hope you learn a thing or two. I think mainly the whole question has been coming to America. If you have any questions, personal things I did not touch, this is just surface level. Feel free to comment, email, DM me, whichever. Good Friday. I hope you guys have a good day. Blissful Gia is out. Thank you for rocking with me. Deuces.